All right, guys, we're here today with Casey from Lifted for Life. You can find him on Instagram _Lifted for Life _ He's got a wonderful suicide awareness group. A couple weeks ago, we discussed. I actually wound up doing a nice little rally that started in Robbinsville, ended at Aruga's here in Howell. We were lucky enough to be able to set up the flag from one of our rotators. Everybody kind of drove underneath with a bunch of lifted trucks. It was a really cool experience. And Casey's leading the charge, at least for me, in bringing suicide awareness to light. So we figured we'd get him on here. As you can see, I got my Lifted for Life sweatshirt on. Casey's rocking his. You guys could also buy those straight off his Instagram. He'll have a link. But let's listen to what he's got to say. Case, introduce yourself.
So I started a mental health and suicide awareness nonprofit back in end of 21. I started it because I lost my twin brother in 2020, 3 weeks before our birthday. It's a little rough. It still is, obviously still is a little rough. But I was like, there's got to be something more, because you don't think about it until it happens. You know what I mean? Yep. So, you know, as I started it, I started going through shit myself, you know, drinking all the time. You know, I was there. I wasn't present as a, you know, a father, a husband. So I started to take it more serious. I stopped drinking, stopped partying, got my shit together. I hit the gym every day. If I'm going to run it, if I'm going to talk about it, I got to be about it, you know?
Damn right.
Leading by example. And, you know, you being able to put yourself out there speaks volumes. Even though in the beginning it might have been a little bit rough.
It still is rough.
But you had to kind of find yourself and take some of that stuff out of your life, like drinking and all that, and refocus, you know. Of course, losing your brother had to be super traumatizing. I could only imagine what that was like for you to go through. Luckily, you were able to pull yourself out. There's not a lot of people that have the mental wherewithal to rebound from something like that. So you might have been in a dark place, but you started a great thing, and you had a light at the end of the tunnel. Now you sit here today, and maybe you could shed some light on, you know, your podcast and like the first annual suicide awareness rally we did, and some things that you do and what your takes are. I mean, I've said here, and we've had a discussion, that I believe, if everybody's being honest, man or woman, everybody's had that thought. I mean, things get dark, and it's how you conquer it, and being able to have the strength to reach out to somebody for help. You know, I know for me, I've said it, I'll say it again, I sound like a parrot. Pete is a great sounding board for me. I don't have to talk to Pete every day. We do talk a lot. But I know I could call Pete, and Pete's going to bring out the positive side of everything. That's just who he is. It's why he's positive Pete. You know, I got my brother Michael, who I'm super close with. I could always talk to him. I could always reach out to him. I could always reach out to my parents, but I would never want to burden my mother like that. But point is, I have a great support system, and I'm sure you tried to be that for your brother, but at that point, he just didn't realize what he had.
Yeah, so, I mean, as I'm going through, you know, personal development and life-changing events now, you said the burden, you know, that's every man's feeling, you know, when you feel, you don't want to feel a burden. Every man can handle their own business and take care of it and fix whatever they got to fix. Me especially, like I'll fix my shit. I'll get my shit together. I don't need any help.
Yeah.
And I'm still that way to this day. And I have a ton of people that are always there for me on a, you know, drop of a call, you know, a text message. But back to the events, Lifted for Life. We do golf outings. We do truck shows, car events, you know, truck and car shows. What else? We're going to do the annual Cruise Against Suicide in September, because September's Suicide Awareness Prevention Month. But I figured if we started doing more events as Lifted for Life, bring the community together, and more people talk about it. So what was your experience at that cruise?
So we got there early. Obviously, we were a little bit, I'm not going to say outcasts, but I came with my Suburban, which is a little bit lifted and has some big tires, but I also came with a couple supercars. So we were, on the sidelines, but walking around, we love everything, about anything automotive. The setting that you provided for that made it super informal. Now, as a car guy, I could talk to anybody, truck, car, doesn't matter. And you had a group of like-minded people in some way, shape, or form. They were automotive enthusiasts that are now assimilating or assembling for a good cause, to raise awareness for one like-minded idea. So somebody there had to have a struggle. So everybody was able to converse about it, and it brought it to the forefront. And it might not have broke down lines for somebody to just walk up and say to somebody random, like, hey, I'm thinking about killing myself. But it makes it easier to reach out, maybe through your social media platform or to somebody you met there or saw there, just because you know that they're there to support that. It familiarized, for myself, it familiarized me more with you, me more with your organization. And if I was struggling right now, you'd probably be on that list of people I would reach out to because I had that interaction. Bringing awareness and familiarity to it is what makes it easier to discuss. So you have that stigma. Like you said, I'll fix my own shit.
Yeah.
For years, we're conditioned. I'm going to shove that shit deep down inside, rub some dirt on it, and we're going to get through it. That's not how it goes anymore. It's just not life today. In 2023, everybody's going to struggle. Maybe we're a little bit behind the ball as far as mental toughness than the generation prior to us. But I think we're light years ahead of where we were as far as support. I don't really know you, but I know that I could reach out, and I know you'll be genuine in your care. You're here because you support what we're doing, and we support what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. So if you could breed familiarity for somebody that might have a struggle and break that first line, that first interaction doesn't have to be, hey, I'm thinking about killing myself. First interaction is like, yo, what's up, Case? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Now I know where you're at. I know that we've said hello, and it's like kind of like a judgment-free thing.
Yeah.
And I don't have to be nervous to make that call. And everybody that's out here watching or listening, whether it's one of us or anybody that's associated with filming or producing this, you guys have the same outlets. We're here saying hello to you and breaking that barrier. So if you're struggling, just hit me in my inbox. Reach out to Pete, reach out to Casey, Ev, whatever. We're here.
For sure.
But that was my initial experience, and it was great.
I feel like a lot of people, they have, like we were talking right before we started filming, we were talking about that football player. Where'd you guys say he was at, Georgia?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people who are struggling mentally, like Casey, I commend you for not staying in that drinking trap, because you could have created that same downward spiral that we talk about. It sounds like you were kind of in there. What got you out of that? Was it having this organization? Like, if you didn't have the organization, would you still be drinking? What was the point that you said, I got to put this shit down. I got to put this poison down. I got to get myself right.
Initially, my kids.
Yeah.
Like, it stems from a lot of things going on in the world today.
Yep.
Like, the government, whatever, everything. We got to build and show the way for the future.
Yep.
And my kids are young, 9, 8, 7, and 5. I'm sorry,
You got
9,
4
8.
kids?
Yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah,
man.
3 boys and a girl.
Good night.
9.
At least you got that boy.
Yeah. 3 boys and a girl.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said 3 girls and a boy.
Yeah.
Fuck.
No.
I'm listening to me. I got 2 girls.
Yeah,
so.
my girl's the youngest. But looking at them and being like, there's got to be like nobody else is gonna teach them show them the way. So
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily shown the way growing up. My father's military, retired. He was deployed most of the time. My parents struggled to make ends meet and, worked as much as they could just to provide food for us. We moved around a bunch of times. But nobody was like, we were talking earlier, that guidance, that little bit of a push, that guidance, say, hey, don't fucking touch that. You know what I mean? Like, you need to stay on it constantly.
For sure. For sure. And then you even disconnecting from alcohol you don't even realize that these kids now, it's just not something that's on their radar. So by the time they get into these like trying stuff out type stages and shit, like they might even just be saying no because dad doesn't. You know, like that's the stuff like we talk about leading by example a lot. It can go the other way too, because if every day dad got home from work, he's crushing beers, he's pissed off, he does the same thing. By the time they get 17, 18, 21, it's on, dude. It's game time. Yeah. You know, where it was a similar story for me. We were talking about Zach earlier. I put up a post yesterday that Bradley Cooper shared, you know, that he got himself sober. So I put up a post and I said my 3 friends called me on a 4-way call and told me it was time for me to stop drinking. Well, my son was 2 months old. So that between the call from them and that little face, that was all I needed. But without that call and without that little face, I don't know where I would be today.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it's like when you start doing these things, like I'm sure I look like an idiot to my kids. Like when I started doing cold plunges, dad's going outside in 35-degree weather, jumping in a cold tub. What is he, an idiot? Like, and I started doing it, but I was doing it very repetitively. And next thing you know, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna get in with you.
Yep,
we're gonna do it too." And I'm like, "All right, well, let's go." And I'm just constantly on them, and I stay on them. And if that's what I got to do, that's what I got to do. You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
Now, do they enjoy the cold plunge?
No, they don't.
Nobody enjoys the cold plunge.
I don't even enjoy it.
Yeah, but you keep doing it. There's obviously a benefit to it.
After the fact,
maybe enjoy the cold plunge was the wrong term. Do they actually feel a benefit from it, or do they say they do? Or
no, I think they just do it because I'm doing it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
At least they're doing it.
So they'll watch me read. They'll come home from school. Dad, I got a new book. I'm gonna read this. All right. Well, I want you to read it and take notes. Like I'm on them. You're never doing good enough.
Yeah.
Like you gotta. And I understand like being too hard on them, you know, because mommy's like, no, don't. You know, they're nice.
Yeah.
But like being on them and staying on them, but showing them that affection from me to them is like huge because I don't want to always be the bad guy. You know, when you're constantly on them, like riding them, you know, like you're like, it's almost like boot camp, like military boot camp.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to constantly do that because they're going to look at you like dad's just going to yell at me all the time. Mm-hmm. Or they might shut down. You know, I'm prone to shutting down. I'll shut down all the time.
Yep.
You know, if things aren't going the way I need it to go, I got to figure it out in my head.
Yeah.
I'm going to shut down for a little bit. Who knows when I'll open back up, but my kids can do the same thing to me, and I don't ever want them to do that.
Isn't it crazy with the kids though? Like whether it's a good example or a bad example. Like I've been noticing with my oldest son is 8. He'll be 9 in March. Some of this shit that I get pissed off at him at, it's like a little mini me.
Yeah. Well, they emulate our behavior. Yeah.
Like, come on. Yeah, like I'll see him kind of like getting pissed off. Like last night, he like mumbled something under his breath. And I thought about Seidenberg because he said, well, number one, he said the first 7 years. But number two was he said, your thoughts before bed and when you first wake up. We got into a little bit of a tiff last night. And then he fell asleep. And I was like, oh, man. Freaking right before bed, I planted these seeds and he was a little bit upset. Like he was fine in the morning, but it was like brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
But like you said, like I'm gonna freaking ride you, dude.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna thank me one day, you know?
So I'm pretty tough on my son Max. Now, he's only 6, but I want him to be great at stuff. Maybe school is very important to me, and me and my wife don't really see eye to eye because he's only 6 on that. But I push him. I've been hard on Max before bed. Dave's episode. I have now started meditating like we discussed, or attempting to meditate with my 6-year-old. I get him for about a minute. He'll sit down and actually try and focus. But we started with, before Dave's episode, I would have him do deep breaths to calm himself. If we were doing homework and he was getting frustrated, he'd walk around our family room, come back, sit back down, and start over. But we're trying the meditation now right before bed. I'm not saying that I'm conquered, but I've been more at peace the last week and a half than I have in a long time.
That's amazing to hear.
And I'm hoping that at some point Max will get the focus before bed to calm himself a little more, and maybe he'll find a little bit more peace.
For sure. I'm just picturing like we're kind of like molding. We're molding these little guys, and sometimes you can keep molding the wrong things where sometimes you can kind of modify that mold and make a few shifts. So for a young buck, 6 years old, to be sitting there taking some deep breaths, calming himself down, he's gonna need that stuff. Mom and dad aren't gonna be right there when real life starts punching him in the face.
Yeah.
And has him against the ropes.
I feel like a lot of parents too, that they'll push, sports down their throat like 100%, like basketball, wrestling, football, whatever, 100%. And when they might not even like that sport, they might not even be able to use anything from that in the future. So if you start with the habits and you stay on them with their habits every day, I think that'll be huge for their future.
I agree. So now for me, Max is involved in a lot of stuff. He does football 2 seasons a year. He wrestles with Petey. He's doing Little Sharks, but we're not there to win right now. I've said it before. We're there to lose so we can learn to cope with disappointment later in life and do it gracefully. Now, I'd like to think this Sunday, actually, I was super proud of my son. You saw him at Impact. We got there a little early for the older kid session. Now, he's only 6. He was wrestling early when we got there. He went out to help Petey. And Pete told him to go easy on some of the kids, and Max didn't translate for him right away.
Not right away.
I grabbed him. I'm like, bro, we're not here to win. We're here to be a good teammate. Let them build some confidence. Just take the loss. He wrestled tough enough that it wasn't like he was just laying on his back, and he let the little kids do their thing. Yeah. Fast forward, next session, he's working with Rocco and Clay, and I think he had one of his better practices. Maybe he was a little bit more honed in and focused, but it wasn't about sports for me. It was about him listening and doing the right thing in the session prior by helping the younger guys. I always tell them I want you to be a leader. And that doesn't mean that you're the best. It's you're doing the right thing. And, you've said it. You led by example. You didn't see yourself as a captain. You were the guy that was willing to push yourself and do the things that captains did. Didn't mean you were the most successful guy on the team or the best athlete there, but you led by example and did what you had to do. And that's what I'm looking for my son. Values, discipline, and structure that he's going to need when he's older.
Yeah. So we definitely went full circle with this podcast.
For sure. That's always what happens.
Yeah. But anyway, back to mental health and suicide. I think having those traits coming out of your teenage years, coming out of high school, that's going to help you a lot. Yeah. Especially when life punches you in the throat. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Because it's coming.
Oh, dude, for sure, 100%.
Yeah. And people aren't equipped. I don't want to say we're not equipped to deal with it today. At 38, I'm equipping myself a little better than I was, but I feel like the emphasis on how I was raised was different than I'm raising my kids today. My parents didn't know any better. I mean, my dad was a hard-nosed guy, blue-collar guy. His whole life, all he did was work. I work all the time too, but I see different value and different ways to bring my kid up so he doesn't have to have the struggles that I have or Pete has or you have. And you're right. It's equipping them with the tools and equipping ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, ourselves, so we have to adjust as the times adjust. You know what I mean? Now, for mental health and suicide, I'm leaning more towards a lot of these issues that people struggle with can be taken care of, so it prevents a suicide. One of our goals, one of my long-term goals for Lifted for Life is to open up a resource center and to provide the ability to help somebody that's struggling financially get on that financial track, teach them the right way to do it. What else? I mean, what else does anybody struggle with every day? Like your health and fitness, there'll be a gym with some personal trainers, a life coach, a life coach that's there to help you, group therapies. I have all these ideas in my head that keep.
Dude, that's huge.
Yeah,
that's huge. And there's a really high demand for that. But yeah, you're right though, Casey. If you break it down, it's probably only just like a few different things that get you there. It's it's either this, it's either a hardship, finances, What else?
It's a hardship.
The lack of fitness. It's like there's a few things. It falls under one of them.
Yeah.
If you could have that all under one roof.
Yeah.
Because that almost reminds me of what Danny Reagan did, because ultimately what he did was like he created a community.
We will build it.
And out of the community, they would do like sober events.
Yeah.
Like, and then we were talking with Danny, and it was like, I remember being in high school. It was like, oh, if you're going to the movies, you got to go smoke first. Well, it was like, you remember those days?
Yeah.
Well, Danny would just, they wouldn't smoke, they wouldn't do drugs. They would all just go together to the movies. Like they have this really strong community. Like they'll go to bars, nobody's drinking or anything, but they're going to like sober bar nights and stuff. And like, I think when people are in this vicious mental cycle that I've personally been in myself, you put yourself on an island where any type of resources that you're offering is taking that island element out of it. Like you're not alone.
Well, you're giving somebody an outlet.
You got support.
That you have
Yeah.
support. So you might be struggling financially and you might be on the brink of terrible thoughts. No one's calling you and you're going to give them $1 million to bail them out of all the bad decisions that they've made. But you're giving somebody to talk to, an outlet that you're not going to judge them, or you're giving them some additional financial literacy, or the outlet in a physical environment like a gym or whatever. It's all about outlets. And if you could actually bring that to fruition, Casey, that would be incredible.
It's a change in perspective.
Yeah.
Because like you're in that dark, we've all been there in that dark spot, in that dark place. And, next thing you know, like same thing with motivational videos. A motivational video pops up and you're like, all right, I'm going to go get at it. You know what I mean? I'm struggling financially. Here's an outlet. Here's a resource.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The one thing though, and we discussed it earlier, like I'm motivational videoed out a little bit. Like
I'm sick of it.
I'm pretty motivated, and it's cool to watch it and say like I feel that way, but like there's only so much. You got to get motivated enough to actually fucking do it and get off the couch, and that's gonna come not from an Instagram video. It's gonna come from the system around you.
Yeah.
So let's say somebody watches an inspirational video or sees your page on Instagram, reaches out. You have all these resources. Now they call, and your support system can actually get them off the couch and get them out of that dark place. It's one thing to sit there and stare at your phone and say, oh, yeah, this guy, oh, yeah, he said some great things. Maybe I'll help myself tomorrow.
Yeah, then you throw the phone aside.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're here in real life doing it. You're grabbing them. Let's get through this together, bro. Call so-and-so, call this one. Reach out to Petey. He's super positive. He'll give you a little bit of guidance, whatever. If you could bring that to people, just that altered perspective is great.
For sure, man.
I lost a thought.
For sure.
I had a thought and I
that's-
lost it.
I'm just picturing like that whole scene, dude. Like that's gonna come to fruition one day. And the reason why it's coming into your mind is like you really have, I'm sure, a strong understanding of like how valuable that could be to so many people.
Well, I lived through it. Like my brother's incident was 1,000% preventable. He made some dumb mistakes that day. Went out drinking, then that's not why I don't like drinking, by the way.
Right.
But he made some dumb mistakes and he put himself in a bad spot, but like that could have been preventable.
Yeah.
A
little education, and support through a system.
You give somebody some goals, something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm coming to the podcast. Let's go. I'm now from then till the podcast, I'm thinking about what I'm talking about on the podcast.
Yeah.
Right.
It's funny he brings that up though, because that's how Pete was.
What's
when
that?
me and Pete, or Pizza Pete,
okay.
had that interaction on my porch, which got dark, and he agreed he needed some help. He said, I need to be on the podcast. We sat here. I didn't think it was the best decision. But the kid's actually doing something, because he came on the podcast. He had a goal to come on, say that he was struggling a little bit, and now he's got the goal of coming back and doing a follow-up and outlining his progress. Now, Pete was in a really dark spot. He gets here. He says he needs some help, whatever. He leaves. He had to get some health insurance set up and do some other things. He has his first treatment of therapy today. For anybody that was wondering where Pete was. He's also done some sober events and gotten involved with CFC.
Good.
But he had that goal. Like you said.
That was 5 days after
He had a very dark episode at my house. Yeah. And
But-
dark chat.
But to your point, that 5-day thing for him to have something to look forward to, even as small as just this, it was something that was on the calendar. It was something to look forward to. I think a lot of times we get so caught up in the BS. Maybe we stop dreaming. Maybe our goals aren't aligned. Maybe we're feeling like the way I felt, where it was like almost like the whole world, you know, was carrying the whole world, or like walking around with this plate. And then somebody just poured mashed potatoes on it.
Yeah.
I'm barely holding it up as it is. You just had fucking mashed potatoes, and the gravy's hitting the floor. And, you know, before you know it, it's a mess where it's like you could be carrying that same mess, but you're like, hey, Wednesday's a big day for me. So I'm going to carry this mess right into Wednesday. And after Wednesday, I'm going to set something else on the calendar, and that's going to be my next thing to look forward to.
But you know what? You had the vision sitting here when maybe I was being a little overcritical.
Of
he
what?
said when Pizza Pete was here. Maybe I was being a little overcritical about bringing him on, but you picked up on some cues that he dropped, and you realized how important it was to him, and you made that call, not me, and you let that happen. And I got to give you a world of credit for picking up on what he was putting down and listening and absorbing, because if we all listened a little more, maybe a few less people would struggle. You know, I'm trying to listen. You are listening.
Listening
I'm assuming
and
you're
watching.
listening to everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, listening and watching. I saw a lot of myself in his reactions.
Yeah.
Like when you said, you know, whatever we were talking about, we're like, yeah, you know what, maybe we should reschedule until you kind of get some things going. I saw how let down he was.
Yeah.
I saw how much pressure he was putting on himself.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, let's get this guy on. Let's just let's make his day.
But the goal to
You
be
know?
here took him out of that dark spot.
For sure.
And he's got another goal to come back. So you're right.
Yeah.
Give somebody something else to focus on other than all the negative shit. And I'm not talking about like a goal like, hey, I want to make $1 million tomorrow. Give them a goal to like that's attainable to
I want to make
occupy
$1
their
million
mind.
tomorrow.
I also would, but I also know where I'm at. And I know that
Setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
That goal, bro. You'll be
Yeah.
locked out tomorrow morning.
Probably not
Check
going to
your
be
bank
the
account.
best. Yeah. That'll be disappointing at best. I would be counting on it too. Like, I know they said I'm going to make $1 million.
Check this balance,
It's
baby.
going to be there.
I got to get
Oh,
back
it's
on
not
that
there.
podcast. Yeah, I didn't make $1 million.
These motherfuckers lied. But you're right. The goals are important, and you got to strive, not for perfection, but to be better and have, like we've said before, that light at the end of the tunnel when it's dark.
Sometimes it's like, and even for me, I struggle with the goal setting. Like that, what I just said about Lifted for Life is my long-term goal. And I haven't like visualized the details, but sometimes I'll forget about that goal. Everything will be so cloudy. Everything will be so heavy, like, you know, weight on your shoulders, so heavy, so cloudy. And I'll forget about it. And I'll need someone to be like, yo, remember what you're doing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
Remember the
For
cause.
sure. Remember why you're doing this.
Yeah, and another big thing that I started doing, if I tell myself I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Because
like-
when you don't, there's such
and-
a trickle down on your energy.
But everything,
Yeah.
like I'm going to run tonight. Well, it's storming. I'm running anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got to go to the gym tonight. Well, it's 9:00 at night. I'm going to go anyway.
No excuses.
That's how you take the bull by the horns.
Yeah.
And like not accomplishing those tasks that you tell yourself you're going to do, that drives me friggin' nuts, dude. If I have like lingering things hanging over and I like find an excuse or like don't do it, like I carry that shit with me into the next day. I don't know.
Well, a lot of
But
them.
when you get it off the list, you're
Yeah.
good.
A lot of the, you know, the motivational gurus out there, they talk about the power list. You know, you got the 5 things you write down every day. Well, who's sitting there the night before writing a power list?
Right.
You know what I mean? And writing 5 things down. I mean, I don't know. I need 20, 30 things that I got to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So minimizing your goals, maybe short-term goals, that'll help you out, you know, to stay focused and not so cloudy.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know-
Clouded in your own thoughts, I call it.
Yeah.
Well, but that's an easy thing to happen.
Yeah.
Like, you know, everybody wants to sit here, and we've discussed social media before. You could sit there and look at this one's life or that one's life, and on the outside, it's like, oh, they got it together. Everything's perfect for them. Why am I struggling? Well, I bet they're struggling too. You just don't know it. And, you know, maybe you're not as vocal on social media and you're not posting all these sunshine and rainbow videos, But I bet some of these people out there are posting it to overcome their internal struggles that they don't want anybody to see. Now I'm comfortable enough with me to sit here and tell you guys I'm fucked up. I know I'm fucked up. I'm good with it. But you hit a couple key points with the resource center that you're talking about, a therapist, the physical fitness side. For me, traditional therapy hasn't worked previously for me. What has worked for me is what I've begun to refer to as therapy sessions with my friend Pete, and going to the gym 3 days a week with Robbie Leaks. We sit down, we talk a little bit. I work really hard. We talk before I leave. I come here with Pete. We talk. This has been therapeutic to me. So like traditional therapy in a traditional way and setting, not successful for me. What you're talking about doing breaks the mold a little bit, similar to what Danny and Lynn did with CFC. It didn't exist here. And Danny was worried that he would relapse because he didn't have the support of the program that was working. His mom said, if it doesn't exist, we'll build it. And they've done that. They've broken the mold, and what did exist, they did different. And that's kind of what you're talking about doing. And for me, your program sounds like it would be a success when it does show up, and it's something I would love to be involved in.
Yeah, you talk about therapists and therapy. I'm against it. I've tried it. I mean, like, how does this guy know what I'm feeling right now? You know what I mean? Like, there's a catch-22 to it, because
I agree.
Like, I'd rather have a conversation with you, coming from where you come, your background and stuff, and you can be like, yo, punch me in the face, whatever you got to do, and I'll accept it and move forward.
Yeah.
It's like the modern man's therapy, I guess, maybe a little bit.
There you go. Look at that.
No different than what me and Pete do
room
here.
3 down the hall on the right.
I'm in. Sign me up. Hit me in the face. Tell me we're going to get through it. We're going to be good. Yeah. But traditional shit doesn't always work. If traditional shit always worked, life would not be what it is today. You got different walks of life that do different things, and that's where we're going. So, like, for me, what works for Pete might not work for me, and what works for you might work for me. It's all about adapting. So, fuck traditionalism.
Yeah, for sure.
Hit me in the face. Tell me we're going to be
sometimes you
good.
kind of fall into that trap where, like, you're literally just speaking out what's going on in your mind, and, like, what's the first thing they do? Write the script.
Yeah.
There you go. Take this. That'll make you feel good. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that going to make me feel better?
No, it's just going to numb the pain for today, and then when that wears off, you got to take 2 more.
Exactly. Where I love sitting here with these guests and hearing about what they're doing, and between Dave with his, what's he doing? Meditating, all the stuff that he's
got
done
me
to dig into it. Yeah. Casey's telling us how he works out. He sets something in his mind and he goes and does it.
And he's doing cold plunges. He's got
the cold plunges going. So
you're gonna do one.
He stopped
You're
drinking.
You're gonna do one on camera.
I'm fucking scared of it, bro. I was messaging Dave last night. He posted a video of the ice plunge. It was 30 fucking degrees. There was floating pieces of ice in it.
Yeah.
I'm fucking scared, bro. Like, I'm not scared of much, but I don't know how I'd react.
It's
to
3
that.
minutes.
That's it. That's what I do. 3 minutes.
I don't want to do 3 fucking seconds. We went.
Start with 3 seconds.
You already got it in your head. You're not doing it.
And you just said can't again. I thought that wasn't a thing with you and Robbie Leaks.
But caveat to that.
We're about to get very motivational here.
I mean, I could do it, bro. We could do it. We were in Baltimore.
Instagram to reality.
Bring that cold tub out.
Yeah.
I'm all right with it. We could do it. We could hit Thrive. We'll have a guy's little trip. We could film. We'll get Big Tom in there even. We go to Baltimore, me and Max and a bunch of guys from work. Em was there. We had a towing convention. So now we check into the hotel. The guy says there's a pool on the 7th floor. My son loses his shit. We got to go swimming. I'm now in Baltimore, walking around the city trying to find bathing suits.
Ooh.
We find bathing suits. We get to the pool, indoor pool. One would assume it's heated, right? Not fucking heated. Ice cold. So he's walking in real slow. I throw him in.
Oh, no.
He gets
Bully,
out.
dude. Throw yourself in.
No, well, he gets out and he's like, Dad, are you gonna He gets out. He's like, it's cold. Dad, are you coming in? And I'm like, no, you said it's cold. He goes, no, it's really warm. So now I know it's cold. I start walking in. I got like up to my waist. And I stood there for a good 30 seconds. And I said, fuck this. And we got out.
Fell right in.
I should have.
Yeah.
Head first. Once your head's under, I feel like it's easy, but getting in is hard. Like if I could dive in the cold plunge, I think I'd be all right.
So I've tried multiple ways. I would get in up to my neck because you got to get the vagus nerve under. And then I would wait 3 minutes. My watch would go off. I would go under. That's pretty hard because you're like, all right, I can't wait to get the hell out. You know what I mean? So now it's like, I don't want to do this. And it's cold out. You know, it's getting chilly out. I go back there. I jump right in and go right under.
Yeah.
And now I'm sitting there. The steam's coming off my head. I got looking at the stars. My watch goes off. I still sit there. I get out, dry off, go take a nice hot shower. Best sleep I've ever had.
So get your head wet.
So this is a nighttime thing for you, Case?
Yeah, so I've done it. I've done it in the morning too. I think it was one of the colder mornings. It was like 43 and I'm like 3:30 in the morning. Oof. I go out back and I'm like, I'm a fucking asshole. Like, why am I doing this?
I'm not going to disagree with you.
Why am I doing this? And I did it and I had a really productive day. Like, I mean, I see why people do it in the morning.
Yeah.
You know? But on the other hand, I'd rather have the better sleep.
Yeah. Oh, it's so important for the next day. Like you could have a great productive day that one day at 3:30 in the morning, but then like if you have a bad night's sleep that night, now the next day,
snowball.
You're lacking productivity.
But now you guys are
Sleep
saying
is
that
huge.
it'll help you sleep if you do it at night and this, that, and the third. How? Because I feel like if I dove it or jumped into,
You got to take the hot shower after.
yeah, but I feel like I'd still be like really amped up after that.
Well, try it and let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, like we're talking a lot
See
about
that?
like
See what I did?
exactly like mindset and like barriers and different things. Like you
gotta
said,
get past it.
Like we talked about this 2 weeks ago.
Gotta get past it.
You said that you were gonna try for the cold stuff. Like, to
So
give
I
you my
started.
example,
I started doing it in the shower.
Yeah.
Before I get out of the shower, I'll take a really nice warm shower.
That's more controlled.
It's 100% controlled. It's kind of where I'm at right
and
now.
it's so
Kate.
easy to just flip it
Yeah.
from cold to off.
No,
Too cold for me. I'm good.
I go very slowly. We go from hot to cold, and then I leave it there for probably what feels like a minute, but it's probably like 15
seconds.
seconds.
Yeah, less than that.
It's
7
probably
seconds.
like
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
15.
6, 7, 8.
Yeah, it feels like forever.
It's all right.
But I just sit there catching my breath with the cold water running on my head, and I hop out of the shower. Eventually, I'll have the balls to submerge myself in freezing cold water and torture myself.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll film an episode at Thrive. I don't even know if that would be allowed, or film
That'd
a
be
video of getting in there.
We can make
But
that.
I give everybody my word. By the end of the year, we're doing a cold plunge.
All right, what do we got? 5 weeks?
Yeah.
5?
I mean,
4,
I
5
think
that
I'll
on the
mentally
calendar.
prepare enough.
Exactly.
I've
So-
set the goal for myself now, taking your advice to set a goal. Here is an attainable goal, and this is what I'm going to focus on.
Yeah, then we'll have like a
That's it,
follow-up episode.
That's
for
it,
me,
dude. We're
dude.
getting a little bit. We're getting a little bit from everybody. We got a lot from Dave.
Yeah.
We got a lot from Robbie Leaks. We're getting a lot from Casey right now. You've already taken proactive steps with the meditating with Max.
Yeah.
I think the next step, dude. I think you should come over and hit the plunge at
Well,
my
you
house.
know what's crazy?
And like, don't talk about it. Be about it.
Be
That's
about
what Robbie
it.
said.
Yeah. And
Let's get it done.
But you know, everybody's common factor here, in the 3 people you've just named, everybody does the cold plunge. Everybody has talked about it.
Yeah.
So now I have to do it. It's shit or get off the pot at this point.
You know, I'm
So,
talking.
5 weeks.
I'm talking to
We're
my
doing
friend Chris Fraley, and he's all about like a lot of this mental stuff that we talk about. He's got a sauna at his house, but he's got like this block with cold. Like he's got like this thing where he's like not about anything to do with cold at all. He's coming over this weekend. I was
He's
like,
doing
bro,
it.
come to my house. Come right to the backyard. We'll get you in there. Who cares how long you're in? Dude, you go in for 7 seconds, whatever. You have to start somewhere. So I think you should come over this weekend and just get it done. But I wanted to say for my own personal journey, when I was in this really dark mental state that I continue to resort back to while we're here, I was scrambling for answers. I don't think you're in a point where you're scrambling for answers.
No,
like
no.
it was easy for me to go do the cold plunge because people told me it was going to help my mindset, and I knew I needed help.
You needed
mentally.
the help,
I
yeah.
needed it. Yeah, you're not in a spot where you need it, but you keep hearing the benefits of it. So like
Yeah.
you heard it a few times. Just come to my house this weekend,
All
and
right.
then next Wednesday, if
When?
you don't tell me that you were there, Chris is coming by Saturday.
I think I'm free. I actually think I'm free Saturday.
Yeah. He's like, let me check my phone. Oh, I just kind of somebody just
he's
called me. For
I have a
Oh, yeah, you
massage
normally work
appointment
Saturdays, right?
I have work in the morning, but I could probably skip a little bit and get out. It's not like you're far.
Yeah.
And I have a massage at 1.
There you
Other
go.
than that, I can make that work.
All right. All right.
Oh,
So
this is
the,
gonna
you can
fucking suck.
just cancel the massage.
No. I need that. I need it.
he's carrying all of his stress in his back, bro. He
Yeah,
needs it.
actually, I don't want massages. I think it's fucking weird. But when I go to the gym with Robbie, him and Zach, the chiropractor there, Kinetic Chiro, have recommended that I need a lot of work.
Bro, you're probably knotted up, dude.
Yeah, it's bad.
And now you're at the
It's
gym.
fucking bad. It's
you got
bad.
the stress.
Yeah,
dude.
The girl Maggie that does my massages, she can't believe how stiff my back is.
I'm sure.
We're really working on it. So
Good.
The cold
That's
plunge,
everything right there.
I might not need it right now, and I might not be looking for those answers.
Right.
But I am trying to better myself actively. So
Can
for
tell.
38 years, I've neglected myself for the most part. It was just kind of every day was the same.
Mm-hmm.
I was previously in shape. I sat on the couch for a while. Now I'm paying attention to myself.
Good.
I'm in the gym. I'm seeing the chiropractor. At their recommendation, I now have a massage therapist. She comes to the house. She works with me and my wife. She's very good. And I'm not saying I feel like I could conquer the world or I feel amazing, but I do feel better.
Better.
So if you guys are telling me that mentally, physically, there's so many benefits, I'll be there Saturday.
This time of year, there's a lot to be grateful for, but after my cousin died, it was the first holiday last year that I was referring to it as like an empty chair.
Yeah.
So like it's that time of year that we have so much to be thankful for that we kind of lose sight of from January to right about now. And then these things start coming. So there's like a little bit of a balancing act here between like gratitude and like that empty chair is still there. And you know.
I think gratitude's important. I mean, even for myself, like I get so busy, so cloudy, and I don't take time to express gratitude.
Right.
So that's something I'm going to work on this week.
Good.
Dave mentioned doing that as well. So you got a goal for this week.
Yep.
I got a goal to do the ice plunge this week at Pete's house. Couple weeks we'll get together at Thrive. We'll all plunge together. Hopefully you're a little bit more grateful. I'm a little bit more familiar with the cold.
And then by the end of it, I think I have to get a goal.
It's going to be 30 degrees out. He's going to
Yeah, I know,
die.
dude. We should have set this up for August.
Yeah, no, thanks.
It's easy in the summer,
So
bro.
now I'm coming off of Thanksgiving. I'm going to eat like an animal tomorrow. I'm going to be fatter than I already am today, which thank you so much for pointing out earlier. I'm going to dive into this cold plunge, feeling fat and full still. Oh, it's going to be a miserable weekend.
You know, but like
add
just
a
the
clip.
fact that you're like joking about this, like that's also like very real and very normal amongst our
100%.
society. Like tonight's probably like the biggest night for drinking and partying.
Oh, yeah.
Like so we're talking about all these self-improving things to like feel better. Yet the other side of it is like, not to say everybody, but a large majority of Americans in this time up until January when they can make their New Year's resolution to lose weight and everything are falling into this trap of everything that we continue to talk about, like what not to do, like drinking a shitload, eating like shit, not exercising. Of course you feel terrible. Of course you feel lonely. Like but it doesn't mean that that's permanent either. But like, let's stay ahead of this stuff. Don't get the additional plate. Don't get the dessert. Don't get so full and effed up today and tomorrow that Friday you're going to put yourself in this negative mental state. Like we talk about the food, the alcohol, the drugs. Stay away from that stuff, man. You'll be feeling good Friday. You'll actually get a workout and start your day on your terms.
Yeah. Food's tough, though. Now, tomorrow I'll start my day. Robbie's got a class at Leaks at 8 a.m. I'm going to start my day there. Usually I host holidays at my house. It prevents me from eating because I cook all day. So I'm cooking all day, and I won't eat all day. I just snack a little bit here and there, but it's way less than if I sat down and ate 4 plates of food.
True.
So like during the day, I'm busy, I'm moving. By the time we sit down, I don't want to even see food. Tomorrow we're going to Eagle Oaks instead. So I'm curious to see how I do monitoring my intake. Now,
I don't
luckily, I
think-
hate turkey, so we'll be all right, I think.
All right, but you're really only talking about one of those components because the alcohol is not in the mix, right?
No. I'm just talking about food. For
Right,
me,
right,
it's
right.
food. Yeah.
But you don't really drink at all.
No,
or
I don't.
Not really, but like
Very, very seldom.
it's not going to be in the mix tomorrow, right?
No, not at all.
Right.
Just the food.
So you're going to start the day with a workout. You're not going to drink, and
Yeah.
you might overindulge with the food. That's all good. That's
Yeah.
only 33%.
No,
you
no.
only check one of the boxes. So.
I'm just saying, it's for me, it's the benefit of the benefit of usually hosting
right.
keeps me from eating. So now tomorrow I'll start with the best of intentions,
That's all right.
but hopefully sitting at a basically all-you-can-eat buffet at Eagle Oaks.
But my point
I'll
was,
monitor
get
my
your
intake.
grub on, dude. It's all
yeah.
good.
Well,
you
plus
started
I'm
the day
going
with
to
a
the gym
workout.
Friday, be there at 10.
There you go.
whatever, so everybody indulges a little bit too much usually holidays. And
That's where I focus the most.
yeah, that's where you
Nice.
put it in
Because
your
I
know-
like that a
'cause-
lot.
Because that's where a lot of people slip up.
I
Yeah.
like that.
So, and I know that, like, when I first started, like, this whole, personal development process, I was like, I'm going to drink a gallon of water a day, but I did it, and it was right before winter, started. And, the blue collar job I have, we're outside all the time. You don't drink that much water. You're not sweating as
Yeah.
much. You know what I mean? So
It's a lot more difficult.
It's a lot more difficult to drink a gallon of water, to start drinking a gallon of water a day
Yeah.
going into the wintertime. And I did it every day, and now it's just habit.
Cool.
Now, how did it make you feel? Did you notice a difference?
No.
Yeah,
But-
because I agree
But the
with
one
that.
difference was though that
I didn't, but I
he
can
set
say-
the goal and came through on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it I may not have noticed a health difference because I don't, I'm just
Did you
doing,
feel better at all?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
started feeling better. I didn't start in the gym till about a year ago.
Yeah.
So, drinking a gallon of water, I started, eating a little better here and there, having a couple cheat days. And then, I'm getting into the gym. And then once I started getting in the gym, this is a year later, I'm eating cleaner than I've ever have. And I won't, no cheat meals. A gallon of water easily. And, no, that's it.
So I started doing probably 6-8 months ago the IV treatments. My neighbor Rebecca actually does them. She comes to my office, and I got to be honest. At first, I was super skeptical, but everybody's like, "You're gonna feel so much better from all the hydration and this, that, and the third." And the first one, I was like, I don't really feel any different. Second one, I was like, maybe I feel a little different. By the third, I got to be honest, I felt some benefits of being so hydrated. Now, at the same time, it also significantly increased my water intake, but not so much physically did I feel better. I felt more mental clarity, and I felt like I could see struggles or approach struggles a little bit more clearly and open-minded. And I just felt like I was processing different. So that's why I asked if you felt any better or different.
Yeah, I mean, I would say everything mixed together. Now, I would be. I can see the difference. You know what I
Good.
mean,
You do
Good.
seem like you got it all together right now.
I don't.
I don't know,
fucking
man.
Don't, man. I
But he's
fucking
trying, and I
I'm
think
trying
that's the
like hell.
real.
You
You
might
know
not
what?
have it
You
all
wanna-
together,
you wanna-
but you're getting there.
You want to
Yeah.
get a little deep. I had a thought last night of being like, yo, I can't make it tomorrow.
Damn.
I'd have came to pick you up.
but I
actually,
know that.
me and Zach would have been in the truck, and Emily would have been riding shotgun. We were pulling you out here. That
I
Oh
was
know.
yeah, well, thank you
I
for
know,
saying
but
that
see-
though, because that's a
But
human.
see, that's huge. Like, I've been, let's just say, weighted down the last couple weeks, and
Well, I'm glad
like,
you're
it's-
here.
I mean, it's helping. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Every time I had my own podcast, we would talk, and I would feel great afterwards. Even if I didn't feel like talking.
Right.
I still, I hate talking to people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
No, trust me, I get it.
It sucks. Like, even being on camera, like, no, not me.
That
You know what
sucks
I mean?
too.
And like, I told myself I was doing this, so I overcame that.
Good. That's
set a
another
goal,
small victory
and
for
you
yourself.
got it. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I wanted to share that with you. You
Nah,
Good.
so you know.
Good. I appreciate that.
It
I'm
makes you
officiating
feel
a
good.
wedding again in a few weeks, and it's like my 5th one. And
You've done that many?
Yeah, but
I didn't
I'm not
realize.
I'm not gonna call them and bail. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like that's not an option. But I still have like this knot in my stomach, and I've been like practicing and like thinking about some other like clever things to say, and I'm doing the same thing I've done every other time, which is like not to compare our president, like he's a great speaker or anything, but it's like the president's not going to show up there. I remember, so the last one I did was a few months back, and when it was all said and done, I felt great, but I was a friggin' nervous wreck the whole time. Like leading up to it, like while I was up there, you could probably hear it in my voice, I was a nervous wreck.
But it is surprising because I've watched you since I know you. You started, especially when COVID hit, you started making videos online for work and stuff like that, wrestling videos and tutorials with Johnny Reilly, and you're comfortable. Outside looking in, you would appear to be comfortable with enough with yourself to do that. I've seen you put yourself in front of people and make yourself, for lack of a better term, vulnerable, where I struggled with it. You know how nervous I was to sit here and do the first one.
Right.
So hearing you,
that's
who
right. I kind of forgot about that.
How you maybe didn't want to be here today makes me feel a little bit better about myself and how I approach sitting here. The end of our first episode here, I was so nervous.
Kid was a mess, bro.
Oh, it was terrible.
Kid was a mess, dude. He asked everybody if he did good.
It was like, so bad, Casey. It was so bad.
No, you were great.
I was bad though. Like mentally,
you were putting.
I wasn't dealing with it well. The pressure, and I do well under pressure, but this is so far
out of your realm.
Oh my God, so far outside of my comfort zone. It's insane. I'm never on camera. I don't have people listening to me on a microphone. That's why I hate having this thing 4 inches from my fucking face. It's not comfortable. But I'm here, and I made a commitment to my friend Pete that I would be here and we would take this journey together.
Yeah.
So that's me fulfilling one of my goals and my commitment to him, and you fulfilled your goal and commitment to us being here today.
Oh, dude, the fact that you even brought that up, like you could just tell that your self-awareness and your willingness to improve is there, because I think a lot of people would have sat here and like not told us they were nervous last night or thought about bailing.
So I want a couple things. Every time I go to record on my podcast, we do it like my basement's like this, and I got a computer, and it's a Zoom call. So I do everything over Zoom because everybody that wants to talk can't you can't just make it work.
Yeah.
So we do like a half-hour Zoom call, and every time I get on that computer, I still get nervous. Like, what am I going to talk about? I'm thinking, what's topic? We'll sit and have a discussion 10 minutes before. What do you want to talk about? I don't know. Like, we don't know. So we just make it work. And then, how you doing? And then, now I lost my train of thought.
You were talking about how you would have like a 10-minute
got the Zoom call, you get nervous,
so
you
we
figure
get
it
the
out.
Zoom call, we get, and then finally it's like record, and we're talking about something totally different. Just like here, we had a conversation out there, we go around full circle, but
it's raw and real that way. Like, honestly, if you gave me a script to follow, it's going to be fucking awful.
I think that's what messes me up about the weddings. Like, I think I would be better off just straight freestyle. Yeah. Like, once I'm like Ron Burgundy teleprompter, and like, if you're San Diego, and it's like, why'd you write that? Like, I don't do well there.
Well, you don't want to drop the ball, right? So now, let's say it's scripted. Let's say we're sitting here and we have these bullet points to hit.
Like that one?
Yeah. That little teleprompter right there telling us we're off task. But let's say we have a sidebar and we have a nice conversation like we did about cold plunges, but it didn't fit the bullet point. Now I'm nervous that we're going to be off topic and look stupid to Ev or Tom or Dalton or whoever, and we don't get to be us. And I'm sorry, but I'm here to be me. Like it, love it, hate it. I don't really give a shit. I'm me, just like you're you, and being scripted would never work.
Yeah, I mean,
never.
Especially with our nonprofit, you want to be as authentic as they come. Like, I've never edited anything. These guys will probably kill me if they listen to any of the podcasts. Like, I got a nice clear intro sounding like we're talking here, and then next thing you know, you hear me in the truck, like it's loud as shit, and tires are humming, and you're like,
but it
you
makes you real.
And I don't know how to do any of that, but I'm like, you know what? There's a message here. Here you go. You know what I mean?
Good.
So,
we started this to help with the goal. If we help one person, it's a win.
Yeah, we've helped a few.
And now we keep getting a lot of opportunities.
And that's the best thing about it. Like, listen, I knew you. I knew what you did. But until we started this, I had no way to really offer you an outlet, or I could show up and support you as much as I would. But I could sit here and we could talk about trying to help people together.
Yeah.
Before that, we couldn't. And, being a little bit more raw, a little bit more real and authentic without it being scripted or, following a guideline probably makes a guy like you, especially in the raw videos you post, more approachable to somebody in a dark spot because you come off genuine. It's not refined and robotic.
It's not all the motivational shit you see on
Yeah.
these things.
You know, listen, if you want a robot, you could talk to an AI chat thing. I don't know, whatever. You could send a text message. They answer you. I don't know how that works, but you come off as real and genuine. And I wouldn't want anybody to see me as not. And I think that makes me or you or Pete more approachable to somebody that's in a dark spot. No one wants to go to somebody that's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, and if you come up to me and say, yo, I got this problem, I'm not going to be like, I mean, if I know you and we have that connection, I'll be like, what, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
That's, that's what I did with my cousin a couple weeks ago. He was in a bad spot and he said something stupid. We all had to run over and be there for him. I picked his ass up and I was getting ready to throw him in a cold plunge. And he's like, no.
Good. You're going to have to come to Pete's on Saturday and pick me up, throw me
But
in.
he was, he smirked after that, and we talked, probably, that whole day and night.
Good.
And then, the next day after, still in touch, checking on him, making sure everything's cool.
Yeah. Well, it's not just in the moment that people need help. They're going to need that aftercare and after support. So like that check-in text or whatever. And, we keep talking about Danny and what he's done with sobriety and recovery. Their whole program is based on aftercare and support.
Which what we were talking about earlier, his mom said, we're going to create that because prior to him, around here at least, it didn't really exist. So he saw the problem firsthand because he was in it, similar to you, found this problem. Now you're starting to be really open-minded to what's really needed after the fact, because we were talking about therapy. You can go to the therapist, you can have that conversation there, then you're right back into your car, you're right back into your own thoughts.
Yeah.
Where anytime that we could kind of come up with these what ifs, because what I was going to ask you is, being a resource for so many other people, does that start to take a toll on you if you're not doing good things for yourself?
Oh, 100%.
I'm sure, man. And
100%.
I kind of get there myself lately. I've been helping somebody out a lot and been talking to
And it weighs you down.
to them a lot. And I'll
you're
feel
making
great.
their shit your shit.
Well, I'll feel great on like the 45-minute convo at night when my whole house is asleep, and I feel amazing that this person can talk to me about their whole life and what's going on in their whole life story. Like I'm glad that I could be that sounding board. But then like I get off the phone, like similar to that person leaving therapy and now they're in their own thoughts. I get off the phone and now I'm like laying down in bed and like I could feel it in my stomach for this person. And I'm like, dang. And now like I'm supposed to be chilling, going to bed,
And
and now like my wheels are turning. I'm really feeling for that one individual. And then we just had that great conversation. He's doing his thing. He's feeling great. I wake up in the morning.
Hope he's feeling great, though.
Yeah, well, yeah.
How do you know you don't hang up the phone? He's not feeling just like you are.
He probably is.
You know what I mean?
And then like that, the very next morning, it was on my mind at night, and then you kind of wake up and the same type of stuff is on my mind and kind of feel it in my stomach a little bit.
Do you think part of that is maybe the timeline or timing that you're having that conversation with this person?
But it
because
worked
you're not,
well.
you're not giving yourself that time to decompress before bed.
Yeah.
Like,
But he
like
needed,
Dave said, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Or 1, 2, 3, whatever it was, the progression that he had.
But he needed me that night at that time.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna practice what I preach,
You have to be
then
there.
I just had to. I'm only kind of voicing that out to you guys because I feel like you have to be in similar instances where some of these times that people are hitting you up might not be ideal for you, but it's when they need you.
Yeah.
So
And
as
you
long
have
as
to
you can
be
make that time
accessible.
for you.
You have to be accessible. People have shown up on my porch. Like I said, it's referred to as a porch session now. 11:30, 2 a.m., whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to answer the phone. It's fucked up.
That's tough.
It fucks me up the next day.
It's tough the next day. That's what I was going to say.
I mean, you're doing the same shit. You're doing it. But like I said, for me, that's what helps me. Now, I might be tired the next day. It sucks.
How's
I'm
your
a little
energy with the
anxious.
kids and the family when you're tired that next day? Because
You
I
want the
kind
truth?
of
I don't really hit a wall until like 8:30. If I had
done.
It's over. And now, if I had a not so heavy day or night before, I could stay
A
up
little
till
bit
like,
more of a window there,
but
more patience.
If I was up and I had a stressful day or whatever, 8:30, it's over for me. I need to be laying down, ready for bed. I'll sit on the couch. We could watch Coco Melon or Bluey or whoever, I'm good with it. But I'm not trying to fuck around with you guys right now. Like, let's sit down, let's relax. We did our homework, we read a book, we did all of it. We played. It's 8:30 or whatever it is. It's time.
Yeah.
Just let's relax.
Yeah, my patience was thin with the kids last night by the end of the night, but I got a call from my sister that Carter's elbow came out of the socket. They call it nursemaid's elbow. It's happened to him before. It's happened like 4 times. So we just went back to the walk-in. He's a little tank. He gets on the scale 40 pounds, dude. I was 80 pounds in 7th grade. This kid's 3 years old.
He's a big boy.
Like, yeah, he's just a little tank. So I'm like, so anyway, my point was, my sister calls me. I go over to my parents' house. I get him. He's screaming the whole way to the walk-in, which that was taking a toll on me. I can only handle so much of that screaming and crying. So, so he's screaming and crying the whole way. Now he's sitting on my lap, screaming at the walk-in. Then we go in. The doctor was wonderful. He remembered us from the last time this has happened. He puts his elbow back in, gets a lollipop. He's all good. I'm not necessarily all good.
You needed a lollipop too.
I needed a damn lollipop too, exactly. So
did you get the lollipop?
No.
You shorted yourself there, Pete.
I should have, dude. I dropped the ball there. So then I drive back to the house, pick up Mason, and we go to wrestling practice. I try to get into the middle school. All the doors are locked, a little bit stressed there. I finally get in. Then I have to roll out all the mats. I have to mop the mats. I'm sweating. Then all the kids start coming in, and I could just feel, I didn't like the way I was feeling. So I was like, hey, listen, guys, take a knee. Like, I could already tell you guys are fired up. It's a 4-day weekend coming up. This ain't my first rodeo. Take a knee. And I straight up told them, I'm like, listen, guys, I was just at the walk-in with my son. Like, my patience level isn't really there right now. So, but I was feeling it. So I voiced it out to the kids. At the end of practice, I said, hey, I just want to say, like, I told you guys I was stressed earlier, and like, I feel way better now, than I was when I first came in. But I said, I want you guys to say at the Thanksgiving Day table some things you're thankful for, and I want you guys to help out your parents on Thanksgiving. Then I go home. So then my patience was already thin at practice. Then I go home, and the house was going crazy. It's that wild witching hour time is going on, and I had minimal patience last night, and my phone started blowing up at work. It was just one of those tidal waves of emotions. But so that's why I'm feeling good now, talking everything out. But last night, like, if I had that stress watch on we were talking about, my shit would have been. You're stressed. I know I am.
Get him a lollipop.
Yeah,
give him a lollipop,
man.
move on.
Lollipop with
right.
a cold plunge.
So, and I'm sorry, I got a little distracted. My mom had called me, and I just saw my phone going off. But is Carter okay?
He's good, dude. He was totally good. He was literally fine within like 30 seconds. And like I said, it's happened before, but I wasn't good. That was my point.
But
like, I wasn't. He was good. My
you're
baby was
very
fine.
important to me. But making sure your son is okay is a little more important. Now, is that something that he'll deal with? Like, is that a normal occurrence now?
I don't know. I think you kind of grow out of it according to what the doctors would say. Like, he's still so tiny that.
I don't know, man. He ain't dying.
I don't know. My dad really took it to heart too, though, dude. My dad called me while we were at practice, or like about to get to practice, and he was looking for Carter. I was like, "Oh no, we're not here." I was like, "Call Abby." He's like, we do this all the time. I'm like, "No, let him keep going. We can't. We're not gonna stop him from being a kid. We're not gonna put bubble wrap on him. If he blows his elbow out again, he blows his elbow out. Kid's a tank, dude. Let him jump off the couch. Let him be a kid." And like we were talking about, like you have this importance with Max in school. I'm finding a huge importance at wrestling practice because that group that I have is all like anywhere from like 2nd to like 5th grade.
Yeah.
And they run around and they go crazy. And last night, as they're running around going crazy, I just let it go, man. I started realizing like they need this.
Yeah.
They're sitting in class from 8:30 to 2:30 or 7 to 3, well, like whatever it may be.
It's their
all
outlet
day,
now.
dude. They're sitting in that freaking classroom. Dad's concerned with their grades.
Yeah.
Teachers telling them to sit down and stop talking. I just kind of let them
Coach
be free,
Pete's letting
man.
them do
Let
their
it out,
thing.
man. Let it out. We're not supposed to. They're not genetically made to sit there all day long. It's just not.
Coach Pete's
Not in the cards for them. Let it out, man.
Yeah.
Go crazy. Your face is turning red. Good. You're sweating.
Keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
Here's a cold plunge.
Yeah. Oh, mine's coming soon.
Yeah, well, you were saying that you have a vision. That vision's going to come to reality. I keep having this vision of the wrestling club, and I would love to have a cold plunge and a sauna right there, and make it like a recovery lounge / wrestling club. Also, kind of offer a little bit of dumbbells and whatnot, so you can kind of find your peace right there.
So I actually I was driving on Route 9 the other day. We went to my sister-in-law's, and there's mobile saunas on the side of the road up by Texas Road.
Really?
You could rent
On a
them.
trailer.
It's on a
Oh,
trailer.
really?
They
Cool.
bring it to your house. But I went on the website. I didn't realize how affordable a sauna is. You could buy
To
one.
actually
You
get
can
one.
get a
$2,500.
a do-it-yourself sauna kit, a barrel sauna, probably holds 4 people, benches on both sides, stove, rocks. I think about $5 to $7 grand.
Bro, I found a 2-person one, $2,500.
Yeah, you want a nice
Easy
one.
saunas. This is nice enough for me, but I was thinking about getting it. But just in general, the concept was really cool because they have a sign on it, rent me. So now you can rent this sauna. They'll just come to your house. I don't know how much it costs, but like, let's say you want to have it for a week and you want to try it and see if it works or whatever. That's pretty cool.
That is
I
cool.
think it is, at least.
That is cool.
So you're going to do mobile cold plunges.
That would be. That was.
It's actually
that's
not
what
a
I was
bad
just
idea,
thinking.
bro.
That's what I was just thinking.
That's not
Honestly.
a bad idea.
Yeah. Mobile plunge, baby. Get it going. This guy will take action, man.
$50, we'll bring a cold tub
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
Modern Man's Cold Plunge coming soon.
Let's
The
go.
mobile version.
Let's go. Robbie Leake said he was sponsored by that ice
Yeah.
barrel. We might have to.
Yeah.
We might have to get some sponsorships going. Just roll up at
See,
people's houses.
I couldn't do a barrel.
No, a little
I got
claustrophobic in there.
I got a 150-gallon Rubbermaid tub, and I went from 150-gallon, and then I tried a 100-gallon. I'm like, give me the 150-gallon. You know what I mean?
Get claustrophobic in there a little
No,
bit.
it's just
You need some
can
space.
Relax.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You stretch your legs out a little bit.
I need
Yeah,
some
I'm in a
space. I'm not
different
a little
element,
guy.
dude.
Yeah.
I'm in a different element. I have one of those portable ones, so I'm almost in there like Indian style, sitting down. Where the one that I go through at Thrive is nice. You sit down and your feet are out, and there's plenty of room. And then the one today is a complete like submerged one that you're kind of standing.
That's how the one at the Banya is.
But I'm yeah,
Or
yeah,
was,
exactly,
at least. I don't know if it's the
exactly.
same.
They have the standing one.
I thought they didn't have a cold.
Oh, no, they do. At least when
Yeah,
I
it's
was
nice.
there, you would walk in. The main room had 3 saunas over here on the right. On the left, there was one cold plunge. You just jumped in. It was like 3 foot deep.
Now, the one thing I got caught off guard by at the Banya is that like somebody else jumped in with me, and like that
the
was
cold
something I
plunge?
wasn't.
Yeah, see,
I wasn't used to that. He was cool and like it was fine. He was doing his
It's
thing.
not that
but
big of a space.
Hold my hand.
but I get it, like technically thinking about it, like he was like front right, I was like back left. You could probably fit like 4 dudes. I mean,
I'm not certain that's
kind of funny.
I don't know.
Where are we going
You could.
here?
I'm just saying you could. You could.
I don't know if I could do that one.
See, I gotta be. It's got to be peace and quiet, some tranquility.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, I feel like you're already getting into an uncomfortable situation,
Yeah,
and you
you
need to
wanna
be. You need peace, and you need to focus. I don't need to fight your focus for mine and worry if you're comfortable. It's got to be about me at that point.
Yeah, but when you're in places like that and the people are seeking the same thing that you're seeking, like it was totally fine. Like I was just like I said, I was in the back. I was caught off guard.
I'd have got out.
That he was in.
I'd have been like, guys, I'm out.
You're not getting in the first place. How
I'm
could
coming
you
to
get
your
out?
house on Saturday. I'm
touched my
coming.
toe.
I'm in.
Yeah.
You touch my toe, I got to get out of here.
Right,
I'm in.
right.
No,
Yeah.
because I'd be cool. I've been in a hot tub with strangers. Like, I'm good with that. But I feel like the cold plunge is going to, for me, is going to demand I be fully focused on conquering my breathing and making me at ease. If
I
somebody
feel
else,
like you're building this thing up to be way more
no, I'm
than it
not.
needs to be.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I've watched a million videos on it. It looks
It's
It's
fucking
all about the
terrible.
breathing,
About
and then you just
15
get
Yeah,
used to it.
But if somebody
Yeah.
else
I
is
know. He's
in
been
there, I'll go right
tapping
in.
his toe in the water.
If somebody else is right there, I'm going to be more focused on looking like an idiot or not looking like an idiot than actually focused on my breathing. I need to do that by myself.
So we got to film it.
Go ahead. I'm good with that.
Yeah, we're filming it.
I can't share the space with you, though.
No, dude. I wasn't even.
We'll
It
film it
wasn't
and
even
you
an
can add it
invite,
into
bro.
the end of this clip.
I don't know. I feel
Honestly,
like you were
that's not
inviting me, though.
no, that's not an option in mine either. It's like a
Thank God.
It's a circle. You got to say Indian style.
It'd be awkward
like-
if it was.
Yeah, it would be
Yeah.
a little bit awkward.
I'm too fat for that anyway. But I'm excited for Saturday now.
I'll grab the tub and bring it to the shop.
There you go. There you go.
That's probably not the best environment to do that.
Okay. Okay.
That'd be really weird. Put it on the showroom floor there, hop out, jump in the Mercedes or
Yeah, but this
whatever.
time of year, you can put that bad boy right out back.
And leave it. You
Right
can leave it
outside.
cold. And it's
All you need.
it's a lot colder when you leave the water in it overnight.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're going to skip that. I'm just going to go to Pete's on Saturday. And then we'll
Fill
hit
it up
Thrive.
Friday night.
Yeah.
So how
yeah.
does Thrive work? Is it like a walk-in thing or do they have memberships or what?
They have both.
Yeah?
And you can do either.
I'm going to have to look into it.
Sometimes you call in. I usually just show up. And
Yeah,
I've
but you're-
never really had an instance.
But you're Pete Riley.
No, but like I've never
You
had
should
an
do whatever
instance
you
where
want.
they were overly crowded because a lot of teams go there. Like that would be the biggest thing
Yeah.
that you would want to stay ahead of. Like, hey, is like, you know, somebody's whole team there. Where am I going to be able to utilize it? But now they have 2 different plunges. They have the leg sleeve things. Have you rocked
No,
those?
I have.
That was really good. I was kind of like almost taking a nap. I did the leg things first, sauna, plunge, back to the sauna.
So how long are
and
you
like went on
actually
with
there
my day.
for?
Not long, dude. Not that long.
I
Like
mean, I feel like
to
you just
feel
did a
right.
lot.
Like this.
Sauna, cold plunge, the leg thing.
I would at least.
Yeah, but none of it
gotta be
is
an
that
hour, right?
time
5
consuming.
minutes.
Yeah, like none of it's that time consuming. Like that day, I did 15 minutes with the leg sleeves. The plunge, like Casey, I only do 3 minutes, sometimes 5. So that's 20 minutes. The sauna, how long are you gonna go in the sauna for before you
could sit in
pass
there all
out, dude?
day.
I was in there for like 10 minutes.
No, I can stay
That's all you
there
need.
day.
Boom, in and out. I try to give myself like 45 minutes. Just to do something for myself. Because I
Maybe
was
I'll
trying
go
to
Friday.
give to others for so long that's kind of what put me with that plate that it was so full. I was trying to like do so much for everybody else and not do shit for myself.
Yeah.
And it's not sustainable. So I try
But
to
that
find
helped you,
anything help me so much.
Yeah.
All right, Case, let's go back to suicide awareness. Tell us
For the fourth
what's on the horizon for Lifted for Life. What's your next event? Do you have anything coming up?
We don't have anything set in stone right now. We will be doing another golf outing, maybe 2 next year. Treatum Sports Northeast, the guys that make our apparel, they have their own golf line out now. That's a shameless plug to them.
It's all right. They make a nice sweatshirt.
He wants to do 2, so I don't know how he's going to go about it. We're going to start talking here shortly, probably after the holidays. I'm planning on doing maybe like a small meet get together for the truck and car community, and then we'll stick with our September Cruise Against Suicide to make it the 2nd annual.
Awesome.
So is there, well, obviously you have your Instagram. I was going to say, is there anywhere that anybody could purchase the Lifted for Life apparel, which you have links on the Instagram
Yeah,
page,
so
right?
I have, we have our website. It's lftdforlife.com. It's a Shopify website. We have all the apparel on there. I'm placing another order for hoodies, placing another order for beanies. What else? I mean, I would like to do a lot more, but
Hey, you're
Well,
doing a
you're
lot
doing
as it
enough,
is.
bro.
You're doing a lot as it
I
is,
mean-
and simultaneously you're doing a lot for yourself, which is
Yeah.
going to make this even more sustainable.
You're doing more than most people are. I mean,
I don't ever feel like I'm doing enough. And
yeah, but that's
I'm
the
never satisfied.
But that's
so.
the difference between you or me or Pete or
Yeah.
whoever and a lot of people that don't find that satisfaction or gratification is because we're still pushing for more. We're saddling ourselves with the weight on our shoulders to try and push through, and it's never enough. But at some point, you have to take a step back
Yeah.
and say, shit, man, I'm actually doing it.
Well,
like,
you'll probably tell me that.
I am telling you that right
Yeah,
now.
you'll tell me that when I'm doing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to realize and be cognizant of the impact you're making. I mean, I was there. I got videos of M driving my car down 195 filming tons of trucks in a line down 195, down Route 9. He had a huge turnout, Case.
Of course,
You're
but when
making
you're someone
progress,
like him
bro.
that's doing these things for
Oh, you
other
want
people,
more, yeah.
you're not the type of person that's going to like throw yourself a party.
No,
like,
no, but
you're still going to be
but
like,
if
oh
you're
wow,
gonna
that was
say
good,
that
but
you
what's
don't
next?
feel like-
When we shut down the Turnpike or Parkway, then I'll be like, yo, you did it.
I know, but then
You
I
know
feel
what
like
I mean?
even then you're like, all right, now we got to sell out MetLife.
that's also it's also not as much as it's cracked up
You
to
know,
be.
there's always going to be
I have
something
been-
additional.
I have been part of
Aim
shutting
small,
down the
miss small.
Parkway.
Yep.
It also led to a lot of police being involved, but fun times. It's a cool experience.
Legally.
But either way, if you're going to sit here and you're not going to give yourself the utmost credit for what you've done, I will sit here and tell you how amazing you've done. Whether there was one car that traveled from Hamilton to Arugas. Was it Hamilton or Robbinsville? Whatever it was.
Hamilton.
Hamilton to Arugas. Whether it was one car or 1,000, you put that together, you spearheaded it, and you got people to show up.
Damn right.
So don't fucking tell me you're not doing enough, because that is enough.
We're always hard on ourselves.
I get it, but I'm here to...
Are you satisfied?
No, never, but I need somebody to tell me that I'm doing all right. Pete tells me all the time. Whatever. I'm doing okay. I'm not fucking up. So I'm here to tell you.
Good.
You're killing it.
Good. That goes a long way. That keeps people going.
Fills the tank, bro.
Keeps people going more than you think.
Can I make a donation to get better mics here?
Funny guy. Joe Rogan says to buy these mics. They fucking suck. It's terrible.
They're good.
It's not. Nobody can ever
I just
hear
feel
me.
like
Any of you listen to your own episodes?
Well, I don't.
They sound great.
I just
not
feel
the
like I'm
microphone's
about
fault.
to.
Yo, I didn't
feel
say
like
you
I'm
weren't
about
doing
to
a good job,
swallow
by the
this
way.
thing.
You guys are doing
It's
a tremendous
right
job.
here. I feel like I'm gonna eat it. It's like.
Crazy. It's almost like that's how microphones work.
No, the Newman. We had that other thing, the Newman. It was by Emily, and you heard it perfect. Oh,
Yeah,
it
bro.
sounded amazing.
Tell him, Tom.
Tom, you're an amazing engineer. I know you could edit that out. You're so talented. We're here at Waves Recording Studio, not because you're attractive, because you're the best at what you do.
And his good looks really add to it.
Well, that's
And
the
his nice
cherry
sneaker
on
choice,
top,
too.
you know?
Well, Casey, dude, I wasn't sure how everything was going to play out. I thought this was going to be one of those instances that was going to be a very heavy hour. We were able to talk about some heavy stuff, but I think really what came out of that was a lot of really, really good things. And one of there was a lot of small victories that I heard Casey say for himself. And one of the biggest things was disconnecting from what really makes me angry these days, which is alcohol.
Yeah.
I was okay with it for a while, and I was kind of like, all right, it's not everybody else's fault that I overstep my bounds with this stuff, but I just keep seeing it everywhere, and it's on like every commercial. And like my son watches the NFL.
It's getting shoved down your throat.
Yeah, like my son watches the NFL. Like, so we're sitting there watching the game, and I'm just like keeping track of like the commercials and like and it's like fast food, any type of like drugs that are like legal from the doctor, alcohol, and like there's nothing on there. There's nothing on these where millions of people are absorbing it all day on Sunday. Tomorrow's gonna be a lot of football on. There's nothing that has to do with like self-improvement or like self-awareness.
No, that's what we're for.
Like,
That's what we're here for.
But yeah, there's so many hidden victories there. And, Billy always talks about, being 38. And what I was thinking earlier is like a huge blessing here is that when our kids are 38, they're going to be telling some stories about some things that they used to do with dad.
Yeah.
And a lot of these mechanisms that maybe we didn't have access to back then, we're giving them.
Yeah, I hope so.
Just like, it's hard to give yourself a pat on the back for a lot of these things that you're doing. A lot of these seeds that we're planting, we might not get to sit in the shade one day, but that shade's going to be there. And the kids are going to be able to really reap the benefits of a lot of these things.
I always think about that meme, you can't hurt my feelings. I've hold the flashlight for my father.
Yeah, that's my life.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be that father. I mean, up to a point is okay, but like the affection, the love, you gotta have. There's a balance. You gotta have it.
There is. I actually saw a post on Instagram earlier that really resonated with me, and this dad basically said that he's going to try to go third. Well, actually, first of all, he interviewed like all three of his kids, and he said, "What's the one thing that bothers you most that dad does?" Separately, every kid said yelling. The one kid actually said farting and yelling. So he said, "What would you rather? What would be more beneficial if I stopped forever, farting or yelling?" And the kid answered yelling. So he's doing a 30-day challenge for himself to not yell at his kids. And I thought, like, that's big time. Like,
That's huge.
It's hard
huge
not
for
to,
him.
dude.
Yeah.
I yelled at Carter on the way to daycare this morning. Yesterday, I was so loving and compassionate. He was screaming, and they were both saying, "I don't want to go. I don't want to do this. I want to go to Dunkin' Donuts." And finally, I felt like Chris Farley. I was grabbing the steering wheel, and finally, I was just like, "Cut it out," you know. But like, once I was done, I was like, "Dang it!"
Yeah.
If they need to be, told what to do and whatnot.
Yeah.
But if this guy on Instagram can say, "Hey, I'm gonna really try not to yell at my kids," I was like, you know what, man, I just yelled at my kids. I needed to see this. I'm going to try to do that too. So maybe you guys both have a challenge for yourself. My challenge, 30 days is a lot. I'm going to start with a week.
There you
I'm
go.
going to go 1 week from today until we see each other next Wednesday. I'm going to try not to yell at my kids.
There you go.
Good shit.
I'm going to do
All
a
right,
10
found my
second cold
challenge.
plunge,
Good.
and you're going to not yell at your kids for a week.
10
10
seconds.
10 seconds.
10
10 seconds.
What did you say earlier? Set the bar low?
Listen,
Aim small, miss
if
small.
that's it, man. Great quote. If I can make it longer, I'll do it. But the goal is to be there for 10 seconds.
The goal is to get in. So I think
Yeah.
10 seconds is just fine.
Yeah,
I think once you get in and get under, you'll be all right.
I hope so. We're going to find out.
He's putting the plunge on a pedestal.
It's put itself there.
Try it.
We're going Saturday. All right. Everybody, I hope you enjoy some content that we're putting out. Don't forget to click and share, like, subscribe, do whatever you guys can. We appreciate the support. Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.